zoom in on it. So now I'm going to click it, and you'll notice when it's clicked, oops, sorry. You'll notice when I'm not clicked. Okay, so look up here, I've got effects controls. That's what you want. When it's not clicked, you don't have any controls, but then when you click it, some controls come up. So if you just play through it, obviously there's no movement. So what you need is what's called a keyframe. So you're going to come up here into effects controls. If you can't find effects controls, you can go to window, and you can click it and unclick it and click it, and it'll show up. Okay, so let's say you want to make a keyframe. You can hit scale. You need to set a keyframe first. So what I'll normally do is I'll hit scale and position right there. And what that just did, you'll notice it just created these two keyframes, and these are scale and position. You can also do rotation and some other things, but these are the main two. So the keyframe, it's set its size and its scale and its position there. And so now all you have to do is come out a little bit and drag this to the size you want, and then you can kind of drag it to the position you want. Like if you want, maybe I want it to center on her face. And then between these two keyframes, it will zoom in. Now one thing to note is that before the keyframe and after the keyframe, it won't zoom in. So what I always do if I'm doing photos is I'll highlight that and I'll drag it to the end of the clip, highlight those keyframes, drag it to the beginning, so then it's completely it's moving the entire time. So that's the basic idea. There's some other little tricks, but that is what I use. Now once you've done that, you can copy those keyframes and you can copy them to other images. Like say I have another image here, and I want to put those keyframes on it, because you don't want to have to always do the same thing over and over. You can go to copy, and then you can go to paste attributes, and you notice that it says motion, scale, attributes, time, motion, stuff like that, and you can paste that in place, and then that one will have that same setup. You can also manually copy keyframes and paste them in. So I can copy those keyframes if they're highlighted. I can come over here and I can paste them in. But either one of those works okay. So those are a couple of little tricks. So the paste attribute will save you the most time though, because that's because you can use that over and over. And you can also grab, like say you have a bunch of images, you can highlight all of them, and you can go to you can copy the attributes of one, and then you can highlight all of those, and then you can do paste attributes, and it'll add those to all of those, all of those clips. Now let's say that you've got an image, and let's say you've pasted the attributes in, and it does, here I'll show you, let's say it does something like this. It's still, and then it starts moving, and then it's still again. Just as a reminder, you go in there and you get those keyframes to the end. Now here's the other thing, one more thing. If you want to zoom in and it looks too abrupt, like you zoom in and it's moving and then it just stops, that's called linear motion. What you want is you want it to kind of glide into place. And so you'll grab those keyframes up here, you'll right click on them, and then these are they're called Bezier, which just means that it'll give you smoother motion. Now this is backwards, but you want to do an ease in on this one. You want to highlight this one and do temporal interpolation and do an ease out. It's backwards of what you'd think, but what that does is that gives it kind of, see how it sort of smoothly it kind of smoothly zoomed in and out rather than just that really abrupt. So anyway, those are the basics. All right, good luck, man.